Thank you. Wow. And start our recording. And ladies and gentlemen, in 5, 4, 3, it's movie time, and we're back again with movie time. It's like, welcome back, everyone. Hope that you had a lovely, lovely weekend and that you enjoyed our Friday show. That had a chance to finish off some VisionCon and some really interesting events dealing with film festivals. Tonight we have our annual, and it's going to start, I guess, becoming an annual event. We're going to call it what we lovingly call Hollywood Scams Revealed Part 4, or Scams That Are New or in Review. And tonight we have two amazing co-hosts along with me. There is Olaf Barbosa. Hey, Olaf, how you doing?
Hey, I am doing great. It's like this should be a fun show tonight. This should be very, very, very educational and a lot of fun.
Yep, because tonight we're about to debunk a lot of myths, as well as also provide a lot of information of how does one avoid a scam, and especially since new things. And we also have Arpo with us. Hey, Arpo, how you doing?
Hey, I'm not as amazing as the amazing Olaf, but I'm amazing in my own right.
Yes, you're both amazing folk, and it's like this is going to be an absolutely incredible evening. It's like, so let's dive into the really cool stuff. There is a brand new law that has just come into effect that is talking about, and it's called the Talent Act, for anybody who would like to know about more about it. Arpo, you'll be able to read off a little bit about that talent law. But
yeah, I got it right here.
Perfect. And what it's dealing with also is it also deals with the fact of people who are doing acting and training courses as well as rules on set. So this is something you really need to know, because it's like these are some of the scams that do come up. So you want to read just even little bits and pieces of that act?
Yeah, what I have here in front of me, this is the expansion that became effective January 1st, 2017, and it adds additional protections to artists for their information or photographs to any form of communication, such as an online service, online application, or mobile application of the talent service, or one that the talent service has the authority to design or alter. Further, this bill requires, among other things, 1, the talent service to act within 10 days on request by the artist made by any form of electronic communication, including text messages, etc., to remove information or photographs from the talent service's website, online service, online application, or mobile application, collectively electronic medium, or an electronic medium that the talent service has the authority to design or alter. And 2, and this is really important because this is a big change, that the artist may cancel the contract within 10 business days from the above date of the contract, or the date on which the artist commences utilizing the services under the contract, whichever is longer. So in other words, you sign up with a talent agency, and a week later you're telling your friends about it, and they're going, oh no, you didn't sign up with Joe Schmo Talent Agency, oh, they're horrible. All you have to do is inform them in writing or by electronic medium that you are canceling your contract with them, and it is canceled. No muss, no fuss, no bother, no need for a lawyer, no need to go to court. And that's big.
It is, because it also deals with also classes. So Olaf, what do you think of this?
I think it's a good thing. Gives the talent a little more, in past they get into something and they're under contract. They're like, going, well, I signed a contract. I signed a 1-year contract. Now I'm kind of stuck with this person, and they're just going to use and abuse me for that year. And then, what am I going to do? I got to go pay a lawyer to get me out of it. But, hey, you got 10 days to get out of it. that's great. It's good for the talent. Now, Arco, as far as your understanding of the law, would this work? In other words, if they're signed with a talent agency and that talent agency is putting their picture and information out there, and they want to change it or get it taken down, and they have so long to do it. If they don't, then the agency's in trouble if they don't take it down in a certain amount of time. Correct?
That is correct. Yes.
And
the law is, even if you're going to continue being, in business with them, if you don't want your picture on their website or on their mobile application or whatever, you can request to have it taken off, and they have to comply within 10 business days.
And so that 10 days is the magic number. In other words, on the 11th, if you tell them on a month, if you tell them on the 1st and on the 12th, it's still up there, they're in trouble.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, now, I just want to clarify, is that 10 business days or just 10 days?
10 business days.
Okay, so that would give them Monday through Friday.
Right.
So they would have 2 weeks to get it off of their page. Okay.
Yeah.
Correct.
Which is more than enough time.
Yes, plenty of time.
That being said, one of the things that have come up is a scam that has happened is people that have altered images to the point where they feel that it is unrecognizable in terms of the talent or in terms of that, i.e. like photoshopping, body doublings, things like that have not been approved by the actors themselves or the talent or whoever it is in the specific genre. So what do we think? It's like in terms of that, this act also helps protect them as well from that. If they don't agree with the image that's being portrayed for them as well, or they don't feel that it's an alternative enough image.
Hey, baby, we're just trying to make you look good. but I don't look like that.
Yeah, well, now, some of them if it'd be, like I said, you get the actor, or you have a talent that's, they've been in the business for a while, and, they're still using their headshot from 30 years ago, and they don't look quite the same anymore. It's one of those things. We need to kind of put a picture up of what you look like now, not what you look like then, because people are going to say, oh, I want that person, and then that person shows up, and they're like, well, you don't look like your picture.
Yep.
So we got to.
Yeah, well, but then that is something that talent agencies do like to do, is they do like to keep that older, better-looking picture of you to try and sell you.
To a certain degree. But by law also, it's like they have to have a fair representation of what you look like today for that, because otherwise, in terms of contracting with with actual producers, etc., it's like if you're showing me the picture of somebody from 10 years ago, and the person who's standing in front of me now doesn't look anything remotely similar to their picture. It's like, yes, they usually try and keep it within 5 years of the actual shot themselves.
Yeah.
So one of the things that this new Talent Act also goes with is it also protects people who are trying to take courses. If they feel that the courses are not legitimate courses, or if they have signed with an agency that wants an upfront fee, they have chance to be able to back out. Because this is something that is another major one that we had talked about last year, and unfortunately this company still exists today, that they come to agencies stating, we would like to have your talent come and audition for us. However, you have to come to California to audition. And then you go to this hotel, you go and audition, and they claim that they are with a studio. Where my first warning will come in, ladies and gentlemen in the audience, please understand, they are not associated with any studio. If a studio is looking for particular talent, they will send their own representatives. They do not require to go through an agency. They have their own talent, and they also have, with the big major agencies, a pool of people that they can go and audition through. They have no need to go through a third-party outside talent agency that has no affiliation with them whatsoever to try and look for the needle in the haystack, so to speak. Let's just give Star Wars as an example. When they were looking for their Anakin Skywalker, they auditioned thousands. They told agencies, bring us your talent, we will audition them. And sadly, they found Hayden Christensen, but that's besides the point. It's like, but that did make him famous. It did make Hayden Christensen famous, and
Yeah, when they were that week when they were looking, I was just too busy. I couldn't make the audition. Otherwise, would have been me. But I was just too busy that week.
I know. And there you go. So it's like, I mean, and even for Rogue One, all of these. So it's like when they are looking for talent, no, they do not need a third-party talent. And another thing is, you don't need acting lessons via Skype. I'm sorry, there is no such thing as Skyping your acting lessons. You need to be in the actual studio itself, one. Second, you don't need to pay $10,000 to be Skyped a lesson.
Yeah. It's like, that would be like a correspondence school for acting.
Yes.
I think there was, I forget, I think it was maybe an Andy Griffith or something like Andy Griffith show many years ago. But somebody had sent away to a correspondence school for acting, and it was these records would be sent to them where they were acting across from the record. It's like that's not how you learn how to act.
No, that is not how you learn how to act.
You find yourself a legitimate school, and if you're lucky, a mentor.
Yes.
So now, what you're telling me is when I got that ad there from Bubba's online acting service, that I should have probably not have responded to that there ad, huh?
Quite correct. It's like, and if they ask you for any upfront fees, this is the one thing that we have talked about last year, and I cannot stress it enough, even including all of these companies who do these NIB type scams where it's the stand there, pose with the product, say it in 5 lines. I'm sorry, but as far as that goes, first of all, if they're not casting for a specific part, that's one other big huge sign that you're in the middle of a scam operation. It's like you really don't need to audition to be a background performer. Really don't.
But if it's like when you go to one of these places, they're going to say, okay, it's $10,000 for their, and we'll get you, we'll get you work for $10,000, and you have to, what if they ask you for half the money up front? Say, okay, well, it's $10,000 for the course, and we need $5,000 up front for your headshots and this and things that sound legitimate, headshots and a wardrobe, a little bit of some wardrobe or whatever. That sounds legitimate. Now, would that? Is that still a scam?
It is.
Well, let me answer like this. What I was taught over 40 years ago, when I majored in theater and acting and directing in college, and this has not changed in over 40 years. The one thing that we used to get people, Hollywood people coming on all the time, actors, producers, lawyers, etc., coming in to talk to our classes. And the one thing that they all were very adamant on is you do not want a talent agency that asks you for money in advance, because they're not going to look as hard for you if you've already paid them. The true, legitimate talent agent is someone who believes in you, likes what they see in you, wants to represent you, and is going to get their money from the work that they get for you. That's why talent agents get 10, 15, 20% of whatever you make. They're doing all the work and all the hustling for you. You get the job, That's how they get paid.
But it's like, but now, like I said, if this agency is gonna represent you, and they got to take pictures. I mean, it costs money to take pictures. You can't do that for free or get headshots printed.
You need to be able to choose your own photographer. Whenever you are doing headshots, you have the right to choose your own photographer, because if you're using the one that's recommended by them, more than likely they're getting kickbacks from it.
Ah.
It's like, so if you're paying their photographer $1,000 to do that, more than likely the agent is pocketing that extra $500.
So that it's like, so that's when they want money up front, even if they want half or whatever they say, I'm being scammed.
Yes.
Yes.
I love playing devil's advocate. It's so much fun.
and one company that does this is one that I think is familiar to a lot of people, is a company called Casting 360.
Yes.
If you go into their office, they want you to pay them to represent you, but I went and I interviewed with these people, okay? And their idea of representing you is to put your picture and resume in a book with 5,000 other people, so that when casting directors come into the area, they look through the book to see who they like. Okay, that's fine. That's okay. I mean, but it's not okay for A, them to be asking for money up front, and B, quite frankly, that is not what I would term active representation. That's like, the way they described it to me, it sounded like, well, have you ever played the lottery?
Yeah.
Now, I will say this, they do have a good website, and that's $15.95 per month to subscribe to the website if you want to be able to contact the directors and people who are looking for talent on your own. It's $15.95 a month. Okay, yeah, that's still kind of a ripoff, but it's certainly better than the hundreds or even thousands of dollars that they want you to spend in advance for them to put you in a notebook full of pictures.
If you really need to be in a notebook full of pictures, also as another warning to people who are actors, which is a great way to start, is the fact that it's like your headshot is in there. There are specific websites that casting agents, etc., go to, as well as also agents that put you out there. If they need only background performers, they will go to a background agent and say, I need 50 people who can look like country folk. Could you please find me 50 people in your pile? Send me all of the people who could possibly look like country folk in your pile. They'll go through the pictures and go, yes, no, 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 no. And maybe they'll pick out their 50 from one agency, or they may do it through a couple of agencies. But the casting director will do that. When you're looking at lead talent, there are places like Spotlight and in the Hollywood locators, things like that are, they basically pull up all the talent who are considered to be principal talent. A lot of agencies will advertise people who are their principal talent on their websites and stuff to be able to, so that you have a roster of what their body of work is. But once again, it comes down to the agency is there to represent you. They hustle if they know that they need to get paid from you. It's like no agent or manager will take you on in regards to that just to have you sit there unless they are not planning on actually ever utilizing you, other than for a paycheck.
Yeah. And as I say, if you've already paid them up front, they don't really need to find you work. They got their paycheck.
Same thing with sales agents and sales associates. It's like if somebody says that they can sell your project for you, or they can represent you as a project, as a writer, as as an actor, as a director. First of all, check out who they are.
And when it comes to casting agencies, the people who actually do the casting for things, if you're going to one of them, boy, make sure you know who you're dealing with. Make sure it's someone that's legitimate in the business, because a very big scam is that the casting agencies will say, well, you do have some talent, and we'd like you to enroll in this class to learn more about how to audition. And then what they're basically doing is they are having you pay them to audition, jobs that they have been contracted to, find someone for this part, find someone for that part. Okay, that audition class you're going to, where they give you that side and tell you, okay, read this into the camera, that's them doing a job for a studio, but they're charging you.
Yes.
So they're getting paid twice.
But they're never doing it for a studio. They're doing it for their own pocketbook. Studios do not require that.
Well, yeah. What about when you're talking about the acting or the auditioning classes? Here, pay for this, $5,000 course to learn how to audition better. There are legitimate auditioning coaches, people know somebody that you would you would actually go to and pay them, and you may pay them, a few $1,000s to teach you how to audition better. But that would be a auditioning coach, not a talent agency
or a casting.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. There are people who do specialize, and they're very good.
Yes.
And it's really good. Yeah, it's great if you can get with one of them, because they really are going to give you a lot of help in what you need to know, and how to go about reading something cold for the first time. But if they are claiming that they are doing this as part of a casting agency or a talent agency, it's like, no. Also find out, hey, these acting coaches, the legitimate ones, they have resumes too. Ask to see their resumes.
Yes.
Before you give them money. Exactly. The legitimate ones are more than happy to say, well, yeah, here, remember a guy by the name of Johnny Depp? Yeah, you never heard of him before this, right? Well, here's the proof. I was the guy that taught him how to get those parts.
Yep.
Another good thing to do also, and it's like what I did. I took some voice lessons for a little bit, and I did my research to find a coach, and I have two friends of mine. One is a working actress, and the other one is a theater stage director. I said, okay, here's this person I found. What do you think of them? And showed them their their qualifications, and it's like both my friends signed off, said yes, they seem to be a good coach, or they seem to have the credentials to do a good job, which she did.
Yes.
So the other thing too is if you want to try to do something like this, if you're an actor or you want to be an actor, I'm sure more likely you probably know some working actors somewhere or are friends with some of them. Ask your friends. Don't just take an email from somebody and go, oh, this looks great, I'm going to do this. Ask ask a couple of your friends.
Yes.
That'll help. That'll kind of help you to maybe not get taken advantage of, because sometimes these people that do these agencies and stuff and say, hey, pay us all this money and we'll get you a get you into a commercial. Well, they get you into a commercial, you might be standing in the very back and can't be seen, but you're in the commercial, or something. And they don't give you, they don't say within they don't put a time frame on what they're going to do for you. In other words, it's not one of these things, pay us $10,000 and within 60 days you will be an actor in a movie,
A very good basic rule of thumb to follow. Any talent agency that guarantees they're going to get you into a commercial or a movie or a project is lying. There are no guarantees. That's why acting is such a risky business. That's why there are so many actors who wait tables and clean up stores at nights and stuff. It's not easy to get cast. It's hard work. And you have to pay your dues. And there is nobody, and I mean nobody, that you can sign up with that can guarantee they're going to get you into a movie. It doesn't work that way.
So that's another giveaway that it's a scam if they say we guarantee, if you sign on with us, we guarantee you within so much time you'll be in a project, a movie, a commercial, or whatever. So if they're guaranteeing you that they'll get you a part,
at best you're going to be an extra.
And not even necessarily then, because a lot of times, as I mentioned, it's like and if you do want to find a list of legitimate talent agencies and legitimate casting agencies, you can always contact ACTRA, SAG, AFTRA, any of these. Again, BAFTA also has it for the British audience. There is always legitimate agencies that you can contact. They will love to give you lists of people who are legit people to work with, that are considered part of their elite groups. And I would also ask people to please refer back to Anthony Ghilardi's interview as well, because he really had a good insight on this as well. He had a great beat on this. One of the things that we also have to look at as well is from the writer's point of view. There is a lot of things that it's like, as the actors have had their things of major scams, there is ones that come with writers as well. Writers have had several things that have gone on, as from I will buy your script to the trust me to represent your script. I will get it out to the people that need to be gotten out to. Find out who it is that first of all that person is that can get it out, and have they gotten out anything else prior to that. I'll represent your project doesn't necessarily mean they can represent your project, and they may be taking you for a ride. There is certain people who it's like, I will sell your movie for you, I will sell your script for you, pay me money up front to be your representative. I'll guarantee you that we'll get it in front of the right eyeballs. No, not necessarily can that be the case unless you find out if this person is actually for real or not for real. Simple things to do. Contact. If you can find out if this person has been associated with anybody. Go on IMDb. But then there are false IMDb reports as well. One that I had recently read, somebody who had put on there that they had worked on a project I had worked on, and I said, no, that is not possible that they worked on this project, because I had worked on that project for several weeks and never saw this person around, ever. So, no, that's not possible. I spoke to the original legitimate source, and they're like, never even heard of this person. On the set, they weren't even a daily. So,
Well, all you young, aspiring screenwriters, let's put it that way. All of you aspiring screenwriters out there, I have 3 letters for you. WGA.
exactly.
The Writers Guild Association. You want to find representation for your script? Go through them. They know who the legit people are.
Yes. Writers Guild.
And quite frankly, if you want to sell your script in Hollywood, you should be a member of Writers Guild to begin with.
Correct.
There are many advantages.
You need to register your work with the Writers Guild. You need to register your work with Library of Congress. You also need as well to have a script clearance certificate. And this is something that is come as a lot of surprises to a lot of people. Clearance certificates. A clearance company will clear your script for you for any misrepresentations so that somebody cannot turn around and say your work is identical to my work or similar to my work, because that is the job of the clearance company, to clear that and make sure that no real nor fictional work is similar to your work. When you have a clearance certificate, yes, it is a little bit pricey to get one. However, that being said, people like the Rights Company, who have done this for years, they will clearance your work, and that will give you one extra step of peace of mind when somebody turns around and tries to put the lawsuit of your work is based on my work or similar to my work. It's the I had it cleared. And not a ha ha ha, like as in a joke, as in, yes, I had it cleared. You clear it through a clearance company, you get it done through you put it in a lawyer's hands, you get it to the Writers Guild, and get it to the Library of Congress, because all 4 of those things will save you thousands in the end.
Yeah. Very true.
And if anybody says to that I can script doctor your script, find out, again, history. What scripts have you worked on that have actually made it to Hollywood? Or made it to a bidding situation that qualifies you as a critic or a script doctor?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of script reading services online. Fiverr.com comes to mind. You pay us a fee, we'll read your script for you, we'll tell you what's wrong with it. Now, I don't know, maybe they are legit. I've not had any dealings with them personally. I know about them through a colleague of mine.
Yes.
But it just seems, I don't know, it's like, what are their qualifications? I should go. I'm sitting here with my pad. You guys go on. Let's go to Fiverr.com and see what their qualifications are. I'll be back with you in just a moment. You two may talk among yourselves, smoke them if you got them.
Excellent. So, Olaf, what do you think of this in terms of writers? It's like, I know that you've come across a lot of writers, as with actors as well. This is a very sketchy road. Like, when you are a writer, you really want your work out there.
Right. And, and I'm sure that they get hit, it's like, especially like a new, somebody who's just breaking into writing, they want to get their work out there, and like I said, these people can make it sound super good, super great at what they can do for you for a fee. And the idea of having your script cleared, that's a really good idea. It's like it's kind of like doing if you're trying to make a product and you have a patent attorney do a patent search on it to find out if there's anything close to it or similar that's that's out there. They that would be really good because if you're trying to pitch your script and then you find out there's somebody else that's already got one in there, even though it may be your original idea, but it could actually somebody else could have already had that works out there.
Yes.
Or and like I said, you have a clearance company to clear your script and say, nope, it's clear, you're good. Then that's one hurdle you don't have to worry about. Because if you start promoting it, then somebody, like you said, somebody pops up and goes, excuse me, I did that 5 years ago. That's almost word for word my script.
Yes.
Huh? No. It's like, yeah, here it is.
Yep. And you get into a situation where it's did you have exposure to the work? If you are basing it on a different work, it's like, did you pay homage to that work? Did you reference that work inside your work of saying based on so-and-so and so-and-so? So again, clearance companies will do this. Say, for example, as a real life example, that there happens to be your fictional story has a character that was a famous football player who killed his wife.
Mm-hmm.
And is being framed for murder. He claims is being framed for murder. Even though, no, you are not basing it on an actual
person or anything or actual situation.
It can be perceived by the representations of that person that, yeah, you're trying to write their story in a loose leaf basis. And a clearance company will give you enough information to be able to alter it enough to be able to have the story that you'd like, as well as also clear it. Like, for example, if you have the name Nancy, and Nancy is a doctor at Mercy Hospital. Well, first of all, if Mercy Hospital is important to your script, there are several Mercy Hospitals around the world. You're not specifically hitting a Mercy Hospital.
Right.
Mercy's a very general name. But if Nancy, who is a doctor at Mercy Hospital in whatever the city is fictitiously close to the state that you're saying Mercy Hospital, like Missouri, well, then they might turn around and say, well, we did a Google search and we see, we did a search and we see a Nancy who is a doctor at this hospital who could, and it's like all of the things that you have had in the script profile a lot like her life. May we suggest that you change the name? And again, they are not there to edit your script. They merely make suggestions for clearance. They will not clear it unless they know that, no, you are not basing it on Nancy, who is a doctor at the Mercy Hospital in Missouri.
Right.
It's like, unless you have had Nancy's permissions to use Nancy's story from there. Nancy, it could be a complete different name. Or you have a story that it's like they were like, well, don't name her Nancy, name her Lacey.
Right.
It's like, and instead of Mercy Hospital, call it Ambulance 1 Hospital. Or give you several different suggested names that can help avoid, infringement suits and stuff like that.
Or if you're bound on using the name Mercy, you could say Southern Mercy Hospital or something. Put or Mercy General or Mercy. Put another name before or after it to make it so it's not exactly the same.
Exactly, and that's what clearance companies also help you do. Clearance also helps you if you're going to be quoting out a dialogue from something to remind you to reference that dialogue, that person. Like if, for example, you're doing a famous quote by Shakespeare, and it happens to be vital to your script, well, then you have to refer to the work that you are referencing that quote from. Certain quotes taken from William Shakespeare's Hamlet.
Uh-huh.
Then that way you have that covered as well. People who are looking at your work to actually, if they were looking at it to bring it to fruition, don't have to worry then. Oh my gosh, did we actually clearance it? Which is another thing that is very attractive for investors. To have clearance certificates, to know that all your copyrights and clearances have been done.
Mm-hmm.
It's really great for your guarantors, because then they're sitting there going, phew, we're not going to be sued.
Right, makes them more apt to come on board because, okay, this person has done the work, they've written they've written the script, they've had it checked, they've double checked this, and half of the investor and everybody else's work is done because you've already done it.
Yes. And what value I'm also saying to writers as well, if you are looking to works that are enhancing your works or anything, do those 4 steps. It's get clearance for your work, get it into Library of Congress, get it to the Writers Guild, and also seek out a lawyer and make sure that you have at least 1 copy of it with a lawyer's office as well.
Right.
This way,
okay.
If something ever happens to your work, if even somebody infringes on your work, you have all of these things covering you and saying, okay, if I've shown it to a producer and a producer decides that, you know what, I don't really want to pay for your writing skills, I'm just going to alter it a little bit and stuff like that. It's your script, but I'm going to alter it.
Right.
Then you have it covered.
Right. Yeah,
showing you are the originator of the work.
You've done your due diligence and protected yourself and also protected anybody who's would work on the project with you because you had it checked and everything is good.
Yes. And these are things that it's like as writers, major writing scams are also, I can make your script better, come to my class. Again, there are legitimate classes and courses for that do not require you to pay exorbitant fees. There are people like Robert McKee's class, Truby's class. There are so many legitimate courses that are out there. You know what? If you want a course on writing, again, go to the Writers Guild. Ask them who they'd recommend as part of their courses that they have found to be effective. Writers Guild also, every once in a while, will put out a series for you of, hey, we're having a workshop for writers as hosted by so-and-so person.
Mm-hmm.
Check out who so-and-so person is from them. And a lot of times you may find that it's like, you know what, it's worth going into the Writers Guild and just taking their course.
Right.
To be registered with the Writers Guild, I do believe in Canada it used to be $30. Now I think it's up to $45 or something like that. Library of Congress is about $100, I do believe. If I'm wrong, please correct me, audience, for this. And again, script clearance that will vary depending upon the script clearance company. You want to have the best in the business, make sure that you find the ones who do the clearances. And legally, lawyers, it's like it will cost you the hours worth of work to consult with them, tell them the story, give them in the script. On a regular, but these little bit of monies that you are spending, as I said, will save you a little bit of dollars when it comes down to production. It will also make the insurance companies much happier to have the clearance certificate in their hands.
Yes, because again, like I said, they know that they've got a solid project that they can move forward and not have to worry about, somebody coming up and going, that's mine.
Yes. Which brings us also then to the next topic on our list in regards to financing. There are so many financial scams out there, and you know what? It's like it comes in both directions, which is something that a lot of people we don't tend to introduce enough in these shows. And this is my cautionary tale for Hollywood people. If somebody asks you to invest in their project, find out who they are. Don't take them at face value that they need that they are great people. You may love them. You may want to work with them. Find out a little bit more information about them. Who are they? What is it that they have done? You know, if they are a new person, I'm not saying don't work with new people, but find out more about them. And if you're going to invest, please, please, please have them give you proof of funds and transparency into the project.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Well, and like I said, working with somebody new, in other words, they may have a fresh idea, and when they say, "Hey, it's like you want to invest in my project," and they explain them what their project is, and you're like, that seems like a good thing. Don't be afraid if you're going to, to invest in a project. Don't be afraid to, as Grayson said, transparency on their part. Depending on the level at what they're asking you to invest, I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, if it's 5,000 or
a million.
It's like 5,000 or 500,000. You're going to give your money to somebody. You need to make sure that you're giving it to somebody who is, doesn't have skeletons in their closet, or you need to find out what you can about that person. Don't be afraid to ask them. It's like, okay, well, I'm interested. Can I have the last four numbers of your social security number?
Yep.
It's better to have. It's like it's better if you get the whole social security number, but if you just get the last four and have them checked out. Don't be afraid to spend a little bit of money to do a background check on that person. You can. A lot of times you can have a private, just like a private detective, $50 or $100, they'll run a background check for you. And if you've got the name and you got their name and then part of their social security number, that detective can pull up stuff and say, yep, they're all clean. Oh, well, they had a parking ticket, but that's all they've got. They're good. But you need that social security number so you make sure you get the right person, because they could tell you any name. If you've not known them before, you need to know as much information about the person that's doing it as you do the project.
Yes, and you need to have as well for them not only who they are, but also the proof of funds, that you are not the only investor in their game.
Right. Yeah, that you're not the only investor, or that you're not the only investor, and also that person can show you you're going to invest in this. They need to show you the financials. They need to show you if that they've actually put they've put their own money into this.
Correct.
You need to see if they've put money into it. Now there's a lot of people. There's different ones that maybe they've been working on this project for 6 months, a year, 5 years, and they've devoted most of their time, most of their time to this project, and they're just now getting around to being able to, try to produce it. Well, it doesn't matter if they put 5 years into it, and they, put 5 years, spent 5 days a week for 5 years on it. Yeah, they got sweat equity, but if they don't have actual, actual money in the game, you might want to rethink investing into it, because
Yes.
if you're going to put your money into it, and they've got nothing in it except their time.
Which means that they can easily walk away from the project at any point in time, or easily back it down to you. One of the other things, I cannot stress this enough. Go ahead.
I was just going to add that also they should be able to show you what the money they're asking for is going to be used for. That should be, something very simple for them to be able to do for you.
Right.
If they don't know what your money is going to be used for, then why would you give them money? Be like some guy walking up to me on the street and saying, "Hi, can I have $1,500? I'm going to make a movie." Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So what is my $1,500 going to buy me? Also, you need to know returns on investments. This is something that we did not discuss before in terms of contractual things. Get it in writing. When you are investing, get it in writing. Not only what are they going to do, but when are you going to see your money back? Have a due-by date, and how much is it that you're going to see back? Because then that puts them into a position of that they have to perform to be able to give you that money.
Right.
Whether you are investing $5,000, $50, $1 million, $10 million, whatever the thing is, you need to know how much you are putting in, what is it being used for, who are these people who are behind you, and what am I expecting as my return on the investment? What's in it for me?
Right, and it's like also what I would add to that is, what's Plan B or Plan C? And there's Plan A is I give, it's like, I invest into this, I'm going to get X amount of dollars back. Well, what happens if you do this and it doesn't go like the project doesn't go as well as what they think it's going to go, and now all of a sudden, do I still get my money? Is there any kind of a backup plan to cover expenses that may pop up, that or just to, even just to get your money back? There should be some sort of insurance or something.
Yeah, production insurance.
Yeah, yes. to guarantee that you're going to get your money back.
Yep.
Always make sure there's a Plan B, because everybody goes into a project that say, oh, we got Plan A, and it's going to be great, everything's going to be wonderful, and in a perfect world, yes, it all comes together and does like it's supposed to. But what happens if for some strange reason there's a natural disaster and you can't finish the project?
Yep.
Well, the date that you were told we're going to do this and start it, it's going to be done, and you'll get your investment plus your return on investment on this date. Well, natural disaster goes through, and guess what? Your date comes up, and well, we can't pay you the money back because there was a natural disaster and we can't finish the project for another 6 months.
And these are where you come in on those clauses, as well as also, this is why most projects, whether it be a live event project or a film project, needs guarantors. Guarantors, you put up a bond. If they're seeing that things are going toe up, they will at least try to compensate back the investors most of if not all of their monies in terms of that. It's like they will bring, if it's so far into the project, they will bring in their people to finish the project for you.
Right.
You have to have some kind of an underwriter or guarantor or insurance that, and it has to be in place. You want to see that it's in place, that they have it in writing that such and such company or person or whatever has guaranteed that if things go belly up, they will make sure you get your money back.
And this is
or
why
X% of your money back.
Right.
exactly. And this is also why they have liability insurances. It's like any company
Yeah.
that is worth their salt, whether they, again, live event, any other, or even film, television series, it doesn't matter. They usually have an insurance company as well as a bonding company. Because if you do have a natural disaster like that, it's covered under the insurance policy. It's like, a big tornado hits your city, that it's like you were about to go ahead and have this thing rock and be able to finish the project or be able to even start the project, and for whatever reason that freakish storm comes up and tornadoes your city, a guarantor and an insurance company will be there for you to say, okay, this was a natural disaster, we cover what your losses were for that day.
Right.
So that you can do the event, the project, it's like, this is why you buy insurance. And and you do not step day one on a set, and do not invest into anything that does not have an insurance company, or does not have a bonding company that goes with it, or does not have, a proof of funds for you. If they can't show you that, it's like what their financing plan is. If the producer cannot show you a financing plan of what they plan to spend your money on, and to show you that they've gone to a legitimate guarantor to bond the show, it's like, or who has said that they will bond the show, and they do not have an insurance company in mind that they are looking at to have the show insured, please walk away, because that is no guarantee of any guarantee. And also, if you do not have an ironclad contract, this is going to be the theme of this show as well. Make sure you get a lawyer to look at everything in writing. Pay a lawyer.
Get it in writing. Well, not only a lawyer. In other words, it'd be a good idea just to, in other words, when you're looking at the financial side of it, if you have an accountant,
Yes.
let your accountant look at it too. If you're, and like I said, if you're going to be investing in movies and stuff like that more, you may or may not have, stocks or something like that. So, if you got to have a lawyer look at it, have an accountant look at it. And if you happen to have, investments, have your stockbroker look at it. These are three people that are, it's like if you already have them. I mean, I have those because it's like I ran a business for 40 years, so I have a lawyer, I have an accountant, I have a stockbroker. So, I would let all three of them look at it and go, what do you think? And they're going to give you their opinions, and especially your accountant and the stockbroker are going to look at the numbers and go, yeah, that doesn't look right.
Yeah.
Or that looks, or this is really good. This is good. This is solid. And like for the insurance and stuff like that, that's where the lawyer will come into play and all that. But it goes back to what I said before. Is like have a couple of as far as like the talent agencies and stuff, have a couple of friends look at it. But you really want to have professional people looking at it, depending on what level of investment you're going to make into a project. If you're going to invest $5,000, you might want to have a lawyer. Have a lawyer look at it and do a background. If like I said, $50 or $100, you can have a background check run on a person.
Mm-hmm.
You may not go as far as like having an accountant and other people looking at it, because your lawyer's going to charge you to look at it, the accountant's going to charge you to look at it. But now if you're investing several thousand or tens of thousands of dollars, you better be getting it checked out 9 ways to Sunday to make sure that this outfit is legit.
Yep.
And that they've got everything covered, like Grayson was saying. In other words, the having insurance, because best laid plans can be wiped out by by a flash flood, a tornado, or a fire. And then you put your money into it, you can't get it back out.
Or somebody
you've lost
dies
the money
before the project comes to fruition, and then that again happens to be part of the insurance's thing of,
right.
Shoot, we're about to have that person, we just hired them, we're about ready to go to camera, and they up and die on us.
Right.
And then what?
Yeah.
Now we're delayed because now we have to find another person to cast.
Okay, devil's advocate time. Well, now I'm going to invest in this, and they say part of my money is going to pay for the insurance or pay for the guarantee.
No.
Is that a runaway,
No.
or is that?
Yes.
No, yes, that's a big runaway. If they don't already have insurance in place,
Mm-hmm.
then the odds are they had no intention to get insurance in the first place.
Or if they're telling you that some of that money is going to be used towards getting the insurance and the guarantor, it's like you got to then have who the guarantor and insurance company is and have it signed as well in writing that yes, they are planning on actually doing this. They are bonding your show. You need to be able to see the letter of intent that they intend to bond the show and the insurance company of exactly how much that they're charging for the insurance. So if they are going to use that as part of their financial plan, I'm not saying necessarily as a run. The run part comes in with the, trust me, we don't need a guarantor. We don't need somebody covering us. Nothing's going to happen. Your investment is as safe as kittens. Another thing that has to run with every contract that has been done is a risk statement. That you understand it is a risk. That you are investing, it is a risk. It is not a guarantee of anything because nobody can 100% guarantee. That being said, you have to know what the contingencies are for your guarantee or non-guarantee or 90% guarantee on your investment. It's like there is always the possibility that that does not come to fruition. Then you have to turn around and say to yourself, okay, what am I willing to risk? How transparent is this company? And if it does go belly up, what am I ready to do about it?
Yeah. And it's your money and you have rights. Don't think once the deal is done and you've handed over the money, you no longer have a say. Oh, yes, you do, because it's still your money that they are using for their production. It is never their money.
Yes. And this is why having a guarantor helps you with the assurance and that little bit of peace of mind, because if you're having a problem, you can go to them, especially if you know their name, and say, hey, I'm kind of a little worried here. I haven't received any production reports from the company of telling me if there's been any progress on this film. How far along are we coming to completion of the film? It's coming close to my deadline date of what it said on the agreement that the film would be finished by. And I haven't heard anything from the production company. What's going on? It's like, can you tell me what's going on? And if they say, sure, you know what? Sorry, they might not have been able to get directly in contact with you, but we do have production reports. They can show you as the investor your production reports that will be able to show you exactly what is going on. And again, be able to give you that sigh of going, oh my goodness, I've just been dodged a bullet.
Yeah.
With your money.
Which is why, regardless of what they may tell you, I mean, someone might say to you, oh, well, our guarantor prefers to remain anonymous, or we can't give you the information of the insurance company. If they cannot put forth just at least who is going to guarantee your investment or help you with your investment if things go belly up. If they can't give you that information or are making an excuse why you can't have that information, once again, it's your money. You just say, well, if I don't know who's underwriting this, then I don't feel safe handing my money over to you. I mean, you have a right to know who's insuring the production.
Yes.
Right.
You also have a right to know in regards to spending reports. If you ever needed an expenditure report, if you're a large enough investor in there are expenditure reports that are given to them by the production manager that says exactly how much they've spent each week on there. You have the right to be able to have access to see that, of what's happening with your money.
Exactly.
Where's the expense?
Because, again, it is your money.
Yeah. And I caution, it's like, and I'm not saying do not invest, do not take risks. I'm saying, though, if you're taking risks, make sure you're covering your butt 50 ways from Sunday, because there are people who also will scam you and say, hey, I will give you great producer credits if you come in and invest in on this project. It's like, and you heart and soul believe that this project is going to be great. Then you get stranded in places like Quebec with no place to come back, and then that you find out the company never paid for the hotel that you were staying in, and surprise, you owe it because you're listed as a producer on the project, and they're going, okay, so where is our money? And the background agency is like, well, we brought you actors, we never got our money for them. It's like, and you're sitting there going, meh?
Yeah, you're standing like, you're standing in the lobby in Quebec, looking at the actors that are in the film, and they're looking at you, and you're looking at them, and you're like, okay, we have no rooms. None of us have any money. You were supposed to provide us all. It's like, what do we do now? It's
and
like,
we have no way of getting back home.
Right.
Yeah, we have no way of getting back to Toronto or getting back to our homes. And sorry, ever so sorry that we left you stranded high and dry, because it's not even me who left you standing high and dry. It's the person who I put my money in there, or somebody has put their money in trust. So again, this is coming down to background checking of the person. It's like, this is a very famous company that they know who, and the only thing that was a saving grace, this is something that you also have to understand as a producer, you are taking a risk. If you are an employee and the producer comes up to you and says, do you own a home or something, and would you like to invest in this film? Since you've been on here as, a production assistant, we can bump you up to producer as long as you can invest something in it, because we're and do not leave your credit card information, do not leave open documentation. As a matter of fact, the less that your producer knows about your financial situations, unless it is an absolute legitimate reason to. If there's a legitimate reason as to doing that, if you do choose to become part of that production and invest your own money into that production, again, make sure they have a bonding company, insurance, something that gives you peace of mind that knows that you are going to actually return on it. Have them show you the transparency of the spends that they have done so far. And where has this money been designated to, and who has received it? And guess what? You have the right to phone calls. You have the right to check on this information as an investor.
Right. Indeed. And remember, I mean, the word investment is basically synonymous with risk, but there are ways to reduce that risk that we've just been talking about. So, for goodness sake, people, reduce the risk as much as you can. Obviously, there's always an element of risk when you are investing in a major, whether it's an investment of money or an investment of time.
Yes.
Right.
It's a risk. It's a risk. You may never see anything come back for that, but there are ways to reduce that risk to a minimum and that's kind of what we've been trying to cover here.
And
yes, so that you know, so that whichever you put in, whether it's time or whether it's money, you're if it does go south or it does turn out to be just another scam, your loss will be a lot less than if you don't do your due diligence. You're going to lose. It's like it's just a waste of time. Just walk. You really shouldn't do it if you're not going to do your due diligence and ask questions and request financials and things like that. It's like don't waste your time unless you're a multi-millionaire and just have nothing better to do, and if you lose a little bit of money, oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will extend this so far as to going even into places like crowdfunding sites. And this is going even outside of that purview of saying, even if you are a small investor in a crowdfunding site, or you are looking at a project and going, hey, that's a really great idea, I want to invest in it. Whether it's inside industry or outside industry, do your due diligence of finding out who it is behind the campaign.
Right, and you brought up a good point, like the crowdfunding. There's like I'm sure you all have seen, and I've seen the ones like a crowdfunding. They're going to do a movie, and for $5 you get a thank you. For $20 or $25 you get a T-shirt. For $100 you can get a signed DVD of the movie after it's finished. And if you give them like $250 or $500, you can be an extra in the movie.
Yeah.
And you get up to like around $2,000, and not only are you in the movie, but you have a speaking part in the movie. And that all sounds great. You're like, well, hey, I can give them $2,000 and I can go be an actor in the movie. All right. The thing you have things to look at is, yeah, you can do that, but you have to find out where the movie is being filmed at. And there's no guarantee. You're not getting any kind of a guarantee that whatever the scene you do is actually going to wind up in the movie.
Exactly.
It may wind up on the cutting room floor. And let's say that the movie is going to be shot outside, somewhere outside the U.S. All right. Well, you've got to travel there. And of course, your travel's not included in that $2,000. You got to get to where it is. And hope that somebody picks you up at the airport and takes you to the set. And they might say that you would be, maybe you have a hotel room, maybe you don't. And they might feed you lunch, but you're going to be on your own for breakfast and dinner, and maybe getting back to the airport and getting back home and paying for a room. That $2,000 to be in that movie could turn into $4,000 or $5,000 real quick, and you may be stuck outside the states because you don't have the money to buy your plane ticket back. So, yeah, it sounds great to pay somebody to be in a movie, but you should not have to pay to be in a movie.
No. That's the point I was going to make. And I know that there are legitimate productions that offer that as a perk, but look at it as just a bit of fun, okay, for you. Don't look at it as, ooh, I'm going to be discovered. No, because, bottom line, extras get paid.
Yes.
Right.
You don't pay someone to be an extra. They're supposed to pay you.
Yeah, you don't pay the producer to be an extra in his movie.
No.
Yeah.
And
But then
they also
now
feed you
to
too.
be a paid extra in the movie, you would have to be, wouldn't you have to be a SAG-AFTRA member?
No, not necessarily.
No,
They do have
as
cash
long
background.
as it's as long as you're not speaking, you do not have to be a member of SAG.
So a non-speaking role, you could run around all day long on a set and get paid on
Yes.
set. Now, what if you're screaming or something like that? It's, I mean, how picky does it get? In other words,
It gets
If
If it's crowd noise, that's fine. You know, if you've got but if it's a solo line where you're the only person that's speaking,
or screaming,
and even then, or you're screaming, yeah, and even then, SAG does have a one-time exception that you can use.
There's also
You can be in one project without joining SAG and get paid for it.
Yes.
Okay.
There's also, as well, the clause of, is it the AD who asked you to do this, or is it the director who asked you to do this? If it is the director, there is a completely different set of rules that go in with that. If it is the AD who asked you to do that, like, you know, to mix it up a bit, so it's like, you know, you go ahead and scream, you go ahead and, you know, faint in the middle of the thing. It's like to mix it up and make it look good, kind of thing. You know, and stuff. That's not a considered speaking part. It is considered a speaking part when the director themselves say, "I'd like you to say this line." Back in the heyday, quick personal story, was working on this lovely series called Friday the 13th, and they asked me.
I loved that show. I loved that show.
I worked on the episode with the Compact. I was a featured performer during that time. The director asked me, said, "Bye, see you later." I got my ACTRA for "Bye, see you later."
Yeah.
I was an apprentice ACTRA that day. I got paid my full ACTRA for exactly that reason.
Mm-hmm.
I had gone from a cash background person to that because they had specifically asked me for the "Bye, see you later." And I love these people, and trust me, I love them to this very day. In regards to it, it's like I don't get any residuals from it. Sorry, people. It's like I don't have that pleasure of being able to do so. In regards to
that was, but you got paid. That was your one-time exemption because the director said, it's like, say bye, see you later, and then whatever else you did. But that was your claim to fame in Friday the 13th.
Yeah, Friday the 13th, the series. It was
the series.
Yeah. It's like it was an episode with the Compact, and I had 6 close-ups and a speaking part. They featured me very prominently during that, and yes, I did get my ACTRA that went with that, and very handsomely compensated for it. I was very happy for that, but also at the same time, it was one of those things that the director asked me to do it. Had it been just an AD that had asked me to do it, they figured I also, it's like, or I had an actual second time snicker on a camera on this other set. So moral of the story is, it depends on who asks you. It depends on also how much, like a line like "Bye, see you later," they could have faded that line completely out from there, and it would have never aired. It did air. I was happy about that, but again, it's one of the things of that when you go through this, understanding the rules. Another thing is, when you are on set, if you're unsure, there are these things called Oslos that are on set. I'm not sure what the American equivalent to an Oslo is, but in Canada they call them Oslos. And what they are is they're people who are basically the on-set police for SAG, for ACTRA, who make sure that the actors and like including the background performers as well who are there, are being treated nicely on set, and that there isn't somebody taking advantage and saying to them, "Go ahead and do lines," and not being bumped accordingly. There is extra eyes that do watch you on sets. And
Yeah. No, I had a very similar situation like that. There's a rather well-known commercial director named Joe Settlemeyer, or at least he was when he was. I don't think he's really in business anymore. But I mean, well, where's the beef?
yes,
That was him. And yeah. So he was doing a commercial for Alaskan Airlines, and I was hired to be an extra in that commercial, to be standing in an elevator with this guy who's just had this horrible flight, and he's all slumped over, and all of us executives are sneering at him because he has to do the big presentation. And the director decided, Joe Settlemeyer decided, as we're getting off the elevator, he told me to say, "Break a leg, Bonard."
mm-hmm.
I made a lot of money off of that line, let me tell you. I got paid SAG minimum for the full day's work.
Yep.
I got a quarterly residual for as long as they wanted to use the commercial. So, I mean, 3 years after making this commercial, I'm still getting a check. I'm like, God, this is great.
Yeah.
So yeah, boy, if you look into something like that, and then don't be stupid like me. Take that money and join SAG and get involved and really start working on your career. I didn't. It's one of my big regrets.
And happy story on, though, the other side, it's like, yes, could have continued on with ACTRA. However, I decided I would like to be behind the camera instead of in front of it.
Yeah.
After being too many times in front of it. And therefore, now you understand why I'm the shadow, the voice of the night, and why we do the show with me in shadows.
Yes.
There you go.
I thought you did it in shadows because you were just shy.
That too. But yes, it's like coming back around also to a very important topic on that as well. Distribution contracts. So you have a finished film. There are many, many, many ways that there are people out there who can really take advantage. And yes, I will call them scam you for monies with distributors. One of the biggest things that happened for the longest time in the circles was we will buy your movie, and then they would sell it off as third-party rights in the contracts. Third-party rights means that I can sell it to I have your rights to the DVD market and television market. I have your rights to the film market, and I decide I'm going to sell it to Netflix at the time. When Netflix was not Netflix the way that it is now. Or I'm going to sell it to YouTube. But I'm going to pocket the money because it's a third-party deal done by me, and not and you don't know about it. Next thing you know, you see it up on YouTube. Your movie.
Yeah.
Wasn't even made aware that you made the sale to YouTube.
So what happens with that? In other words, when it's like, I'm the I'll play the distributor. I buy your movie, and I give you X amount of dollars for your movie, and then that's it. You and I are done because I bought your movie. Then I take and I sell it to YouTube and make a ton of money on it. You don't
see one penny of it.
You don't see one penny of it because there's nothing in the contract for you
saying
when you sell your movie that if they third party sell it to somebody else, you get a portion of it or something.
Correct. Another thing is that it's like it's outside of the market that they have bought the shares for. If you've bought only the television rights and you bought the DVD rights, if you're selling internet rights that are outside of your market, of your purview on the contract agreement, they sell these third-party rights and they profit from it. And what are you going to do? It's like, yes, you could contact the third party and say, hey, I didn't agree to this, or I never got, and it's like, well, but you allowed the distributor to do this because you didn't read the contract. A lot of former distributors have put in third-party agreements. You have to be very careful when reading the contract. There are things in there that paying for them to come to festivals and markets to sell your items, to promote your work. As legit distributors, you don't have to pay them to do that. You can be there yourself if you really, really want to. As a distributor, they are taking on that. It's why we have the difference between distributors and aggregators. As aggregators in that sense, it's like you're helping to join in those marketing costs, but it doesn't mean that it's like you're paying for them to go to the festivals, because they're taking your project along with 25 other projects in there with them, or however many is on their slate, 5 projects, 2 projects, whatever, but they are going to be there also to make contacts themselves. They get benefit from being there.
Quick now, Ken, is there interrupt you for a second there. What is the real difference between a distributor and an aggregator for those listeners that don't know?
Yes, and again, we let them it's like one of the things I'll do is also refer you to Jason Brubaker's interview as well, because he is an aggregator. Distributor, when you do that, you give deliverables to a distributor. In this day and age, you may have a percentage of your campaign that's done, but you're basically giving them the raw materials. They develop the posters with you. A lot of times, if you have a poster, they'll either use your poster or tweak a poster. They are responsible for the marketing. They get it into the outlets that they have the rights for, and sell it off to the exhibitors and split the money with you. They're there to promote you. Of course, you need to be there for the times that they need you for personal promotion, but they are there to represent the project. An aggregator, on the other hand, is saying, like, we are not splitting the P&A costs with you. You come to us with all of the materials already created. There's a certain thing for print and advertising costs, especially in today's day and age. Advertising costs are things like the posters, the DVD materials, the press kits, the publicity materials. It's like, as an aggregator, what they're saying is, we're going to take your stuff, not that we're not going to tweak it, but we are not they spend the money promoting you, but you also spend money in the game of making sure that the materials are all there for them to be able to do that. It's basically working in a partnership agreement, where a distributor is like, thank you for your deliverables, and for your cut of the project, but they can change it to be able to do whatever they need to do to be able to get it out there. Both are a very good thing. An aggregator would be used, for example, if you know that it's not going to necessarily be a theatrical release, but you want the movie out there. An aggregator can get it to smaller companies, to smaller venues. You can have limited releases, boxed into smaller theaters, boxed into things, as opposed to like the major distribution companies who get it into large, massive production. So in other words, if they don't feel that the project is, and they can backbench you as well to 3,000 theaters, 7,000 theaters, or as far as like 22,000 theaters, a distributor, where an aggregator is more focused in on getting it into as many mediums as possible to be able to get you a return on your investment, but you have to put in some of the legwork yourself, coming in with the posters.
So if you're doing a project, for example, that you intend it to be straight to DVD, you don't really need a distributor as much as you would want an aggregator.
Yes. or if a distributor says, you know what, I have no interest into this project, but you want the project out there on a DVD, an aggregator can get it too. That if I am understanding exactly what Jason Brubaker had made mention of, yes.
Yeah.
And they may be a person that you more want to work with because they are more hands-on. You're more hands-on to how does the marketing campaign go. With a distributor, they are basically taking the majority of the marketing campaign. You may have some contributions, but they know exactly what they want to do. You also have to understand with the distributor, they have a list of actors that they want to have involved into the project, a list of people who they want to market to and how they would like to market your project. With an aggregator, you have a little bit more say in those kinds of things, and they're not telling you you need to have this actor in there. They're working with the product they got.
Yeah.
If that helps.
Yes, that gives a good definition of what the differences are. So, yay.
Yep. It's do you want somebody to help you do it, and you make it big, or you want to also make it big, but you want a big say in it. And again, both of them, you need to check it out in writing. It's like, I cannot stress this enough. Whether you are a writer, director, producer, actor, you have a finished product, you have a beginning product. Please go by a lawyer, check it out. Anything that is an agreement in writing. Because if it ain't on the page, it ain't so.
Right. And always remember that the person writing the agreement is going to write that agreement to give them the advantage. That's not being crooked or anything. That's just a fact of life.
Yes. And it's like you have to understand that sometimes you're not, and I hate to quote a Rolling Stones song, but it's true. You can't always get what you want, but you get what you need.
Yeah.
In this particular case, you can't always get what you want, but in terms of that, you can not only get what you need, but you get what can make you go forward to the next project. If you don't have the thing that goes forward to the next project.
And if you don't get it looked over by a lawyer, then just to finish off your metaphor, yes, you're going to get what you deserve.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yes, I urge you, lawyers are it's like, everybody sees lawyers as an enemy. They don't have to be an enemy. And first of all, one of the things that that it's like cautioning in the scam story that I will tell you, educate yourself in the industry that you're in. Educate what you want to do and find out the ins and outs. If you are coming at it from a business proposal straight on through to a budgeting, find out everything that you can about the industry. This is why it's like we would love for you guys to understand. Find out. Don't just talk about it and say, oh yeah, I want to do that. It's like, because scammers love people who want to be victims because they are so desperate to have their work out there or to be out there doing something. You scream, I'm coming here, come and take advantage of me. Be so careful. Get educated in whatever it is that you're going to do. If you are a writer, get educated to understand the industry from a writing perspective. What exactly do you need? Don't come and pitch to somebody and say to them, I have my great script, I have my great novel, I want to, it's like I have this great thing. It's like, get educated, understand how do you do that. Understand how you work in this industry. If you're an actor, don't just pop into the first agency that says that they want you under talent. Scrutinize the agency. Find out what works that they do. Who do they represent? Who do they not represent? What it's like, how far do they branch out in terms of talent? Do they only stay in their local area? Are they a more international agency? Have they ever partnered with a larger agency? in regards to that. Find out if you're an investor about the industry that you're about to invest in. It's like find out the ins and outs, what you can be paying people, what you should be paying people to do. It's like don't come into something blind because they see you coming and they love it. It's like scammers love to see you coming because then they know,
I'll say they love the misinformed or uninformed.
Yes. And unfortunately,
that's how they make their living.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it's like you cannot plead ignorance in a court because they'll say to you, "Why didn't you find out this information?"
Yeah.
And your answer can't be, "I don't know." I don't know, Your Honor. It's like I got taken for this ride and I'm out like $100,000 because I didn't figure out this event properly, or I didn't figure out this film properly, or I didn't figure out this show or this contract properly. I didn't look at the fine print. Suddenly, I'm out a whole bunch of money. Well, what do I do? And you know what?
Okay, so you're filing this motion under the I don't know laws.
Yes. I was too stupid not to go to a lawyer contract laws. It's like I didn't check it with a lawyer. I didn't check it with a financial advisor. I didn't check it with somebody and investigate the people who I was there. It's like, you know what? There are a bunch of honest distributors. They, of course, are going to look for ways of being able to maximize their distribution costs, to maximize their benefits. But in the age of transparency now, they're also getting to be very transparent of how their expenditures and everything are coming through. Be an informed person when you're going into this industry, because whether it be film, television, whatever the industry is, in the entertainment industry, music, everything, it's like be informed. Understand that there are laws that are changing. Talk to lawyers. Listen to get informed before you do something that you're going to cause yourself so much more damage with. And especially if you also understanding who do you pay up front and who do you not pay up front. Arpo, who do we pay up front?
Nobody.
Yes, because even a lawyer will do a consultation with you.
Yeah.
Before they ask you for money.
Yeah, that anybody that says, let's do a consultation. I charge this much money for a consultation. As I was trying to inform a friend of mine, that's like going to a doctor and paying for the treatment before they've even examined you to see what's wrong.
Yeah.
And what they can actually do for you.
And that's a very dangerous game.
Yeah. Remember that when the whole purpose of that initial meeting is because you're looking to see if you want to hire them.
Yes.
You're the one that's in charge, not them. On a consultation, you're the one who's in charge.
Yep, especially when you're talking about publicists.
Yeah, they want your business. They should be willing to talk to you for free once just to say, okay, here's what I can do for you. And then if you like what you hear, then you pay them the money.
Correct.
Yes.
One of the things also that you have to realize that there is fees for doing work. However, until they know what work that they need to be done, another one is do not pay to pitch. It's like if you are telling somebody what your project is, what you need them to do for you, that's paying to pitch. There were certain this has also now become a new law, by the way, people. It's been around now, I believe, now for a year, that you cannot do a pay-to-pitch kind of deal. Front-ending on it as well. It's like, again, lawyers, please let me know this. It's the idea of that it's actually illegal to charge to pay to pitch. I'm not talking about a pitch session, which is a seminar or a webinar. I'm talking about physically going in front of a person who says, I'm going to sit you down with 5 legitimate investor people, and you can pitch to them for $1,500.
Yeah.
First of all,
there's no guarantee.
Exactly. And you don't know if they are really legitimately 5 people, because if you ask them their names and they don't give you the transparency of who they are and how much have they invested and what is their story, I could be standing there in front of the janitor that I pull from the office. It's like the secretary that was taking the notes on the meeting. My sister, my brother-in-law, and Uncle Ned from down the street. And I could be pitching to them. And I don't know on my end. It's like, they look like 5 legitimate people because you tell them go ahead and be in business dress. So find out who it is that you're pitching to. If they don't want to reveal that, if they're not being transparent, don't even bother to pay. Don't even pitch. Don't do it because it's A, illegal, and B, it's a scam. They don't intend to actually look at it.
Yeah.
That is how they make their money. You pitch, they go, and mind you, they do have to pretend in some cases that yes, they will take you on so that they can get more money from you to represent. And again, it becomes you have to get wise on the industry that you're in. Because there are so many scams out there. We've only touched the surface, and we touch the surface every year of scams. There are insurance ones that are out there. Also, like I said, investor ones. Note if you are going to be if you are the investor in a project, find out what the project is. What do they have already behind them? What skin is in the game? If you're looking at it for somebody representing you, they're representing you. You have to feel comfortable with them representing you and having their representation. If there's not, this is why you need a consultation with them. And you need to know what they're going to do for you. And don't jump at the first person that says, hey, yes, I'll do this for you. Maybe shop around. Find out if they are the perfect fit.
Yeah.
Just remember, Google is your friend.
Yes. I agree. Google is your friend.
And even though, everybody and their cousin seems to have an IMDb page anymore, one of the advantages to that is, especially if you're dealing with investment, that is a place that you can go to and see what these people have done in the industry. Remember, even if it's a fledgling screenwriter director, this is my first movie, and that's why I need to raise the money, is because I've never done this before. They should have some background somewhere in the industry, or the odds are very good that you're throwing your money into the great black abyss of investment.
And you want to make sure that even if you invest in somebody who is new, it is wonderful that you want to invest into somebody new, then get educated on what exactly that they know that they don't know and what they do know. Because if you find somebody in there that is going, well, I don't know, if you give us the money, then we're going to have this done, this project, this, and this, and this. Find out what's their game plan. What's their timelines? What are they looking at? Make them accountable for their timelines. Because the one thing you have to understand is that you fool me once and you're going to find out that it's like this industry will be harder on you than you actually think. And like I said, you have to learn to love the people who you work with and trust them. But when you're trusting them, don't trust them to the point that you lose the fact that you are going to be in an industry. It's like, understand the film business is a business first. Just because somebody says that they have a great project, find out more. Do your investigative research. It's a great idea. They're doing something that hasn't been done before. They're doing a technology that hasn't been done before. They're doing something that hasn't been done before. Find out who they are. And don't take it at face value. Find out from other people who've worked with them. Because you may think that they're an amazing person, but if you ask 3 of the people that they give you as references, or people who who they may know in the business, it's very easy to find out. I had a sales agent who tried to take an upfront fee, turned around. I said, it's like one of the things that were said in an agreement is that you get to be able to follow up on any of the people. I need a list of who you pitched to. They decided that they weren't going to do that after signing the agreement, broke the agreement. Spoke to 3 people to find out. Person A doesn't even know them. Person B had already said no and doesn't know why the heck I'm calling. And person C is like, this person, why would I even listen to them? Have no interest in listening to this person. If you would have been with somebody else, sure, maybe I'd listen, but not this person. So, again, find out what the reputation of that person in the industry is as well. Because if they don't have a good rep, you don't want them representing you.
So to recap, it's research, 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 and then research. So again.
Yes. And lawyers it's like lawyers can save you a lot of time, a lot of money,
and a whole lot of aggravation.
Yes.
And when looking for a lawyer, in other words, it's like since you're doing a film project or whatever it is that you're doing, your film project or events or whatever, you would be probably ahead of the game if you would look for a entertainment lawyer.
Yes.
Because that's what they specialize. They specialize in the entertainment industry and all this stuff. So they already kind of know some of the ins and outs and everything, can help you out on the contract to make sure you're not getting taken advantage of, because they understand the entertainment world.
And when you're also looking at that, it's like also check with the law societies to see if they've ever been brought to assessment.
Right.
Because if they have, then that's also something that says to you, please stay away from that lawyer.
And try to understand too, we're not trying to frighten people away from the industry.
No.
Okay, it's a great industry. It is a fabulous industry to be a part of. But like anything that you do in this life, you have to make sure you understand the ground rules up front, and you have to watch out, because any business has scam artists, and it's an unfortunate fact of life, but you can be prepared for them, and you can get past them and find, the real deal.
Right.
So that being said, it's like in closing, what we would all love to see is also your feedback as well on this, to find out, it's like if you've had any scams that have been done, it's like the only way also to get rid of scammers and to help legitimize the business and to help continue to legitimize the business, I will say, as well as also to make sure that you're not taken or that somebody else is not taken. Feel free to let us know. It's like the more and more people share these kinds of things, it's like it's not something that you need to be ashamed of. You need to make other people aware, because guess what? Maybe somebody's being pitched like that too. And
right. And said as Arpo said, we're not trying to scare you away from doing stuff, but just trying to open your eyes a little bit so that you maybe look a little bit harder, look a little bit deeper before you go to do something, and so that you don't wind up regretting getting involved in something. Just trying to help out and spread the word that it's a cold, cruel world out there, and everybody's looking for some way to get your money out of your pocket into theirs.
And if you get scammed, talk to a lawyer, which you should have done before you got scammed. But okay. But if for chance you didn't and you get scammed, talk to a lawyer. There are ways to redress situations like that. And if nothing else, as Grayson was saying, if nothing else, maybe you can prevent the next person from getting scammed.
Right.
And just because somebody says that they have money, don't necessarily believe them. Ask them for their proof of funds is also another thing. If somebody is offering you money for your project, also that is another thing. Check out who they are. Because there are still many scam operators who they are not who they say that they are. So hopefully we've taught you something on our annual scam report, and we will do this again next year. It's like when we will be unveiling yet more for you guys. It's like, and also, so Arpo, how do they get you in social media?
They can reach me on Facebook. They can find me skulking the forums at the Movies Underground. They can find me on Skype, but once again, please, I'm not interested in a bride from Uzbekistan. But if you're a fan of the show, and since I've joined the show, if you'd like my contributions to it, let me know that and become my Skype buddy.
I like your contributions.
Yes.
Well, I know, but there's that whole restraining order thing. That's why you can't be my Skype buddy. But
is that what it is? Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Was that a restraining order against me, or was that you for a restraining order against me that I can't be around you, or did I put the one on you? I can't remember now. Or is it both?
I'm not saying.
And Olaf, how do we get you in social media?
Well, you can stalk me on both Facebook and Twitter at Olaf Barbosa, but just don't stalk too close because I do get nervous and I do have an itchy trigger finger.
Excellent. And me, you can also get on Facebook, Visipedia, Twitter, LinkedIn, and also this YouTube channel as well. Please feel free. Also, if you want to leave comments about the show and more things, and as I said, if you've also had scams or anything like that have been done from all points of view from the entertainment industry, including people in the music industry, it's like also as well any legal counsels that want us to know of any new laws that have come in as well to protect us, please let us know. Also, our Friday show will be at our usual 6 o'clock hour in regards to that, and then we are going to be off for 1 week due to March break, and then we will be back the following week with you guys. So we hope that you will tune in at that time. Till then, enjoy the rest of your movie time.
Thanks for listening.
A week off. What am I going to do?
Work on that.